So the question is asking, is d minus 4 a factor? Justify the answer. So one way you could do this is just factor it and see if it works that d minus 4 is one of the factors. Another way is you could put d minus 4 in there and see what would happen and see if it would work. So I'm going to start with that because it's a little bit shorter. I'm going to start with that second idea. I'm going to say, if I had 2d squared plus 6d minus 56 and d minus 4 was a factor, question mark. I'm going to put a question mark over that equal sign because I don't know if this is true. If it is, look at your first ones. Your first ones are 2d squared. What would have to be here? It would have to be a 2d, right? That's the only way I could get a 2d squared. And if my last one is 56, 4 times what is 56? It's a little bit past your times table. 4 times 14. It would have to be 14. And if it's a negative 56, do you see that it would have to be plus 14? Does this work? This is the only, do you agree that what I put in blue, if d minus 4 is a factor, that's the only possibility. Okay? Because you have to get the 2d squared with your first ones, you'd have to get minus 56 with your last ones. Do the outside and the inside actually work? That's what we have to find out. So if I multiply this out, d minus 4 times 2d plus 14 is equal to, well, d times 2d would give me my 2d squared. Outside would be plus 14d. Inside would be minus 8d. And my last ones give me minus 56. Which, if I combine those two in the middle, I get a plus 6d. Is that what it was originally? So we can say, yes, d minus 4 is a factor. Okay? That's method number 1. Method number 2 would just be factoring it like normal. So if I had 2d squared plus 6d minus 56. Sorry, James, do you have a question?
I did. I understand it.
Okay. And if I was factoring this, first thing I notice is there's a common factor of 2, so I would take that out, leaving me with d squared plus 3d minus 28. And then if this factors, it would be d and d. I'm looking for the last ones to be 28. What multiplies to 28? Well, 14 and 2, 7 and 4, 28 and 1. Got a lot of options. You have to choose the option so that the outside and the inside give you 3. Well, 7 and 4, if they subtract, they'll give you 3. I need a positive 3, so I would need a plus 7 in the inside and a minus 4 on the outside. Method 2, if you just factored like normal and it comes out as one of the factors, you would say yes, it is a factor. So method 2, I say, takes a little bit more thinking because you have to actually factor it. Method 1, you assume it's one of the factors, and then the other one is predetermined by your first and your last terms. And then you just have to check. So we'll do part B with both methods. Part B starts with 3d squared plus 13d plus 4. And we say, is it equal to, with a question mark because we don't know for sure, d minus 4 times something. If my first one's a 3D squared, then something would have to be a 3D. If my last one's a +4, you see your last one would have to be a -1. We do the check. D minus 4 times 3D minus 1 is equal to 3D squared. My outside is minus D, my inside is minus 12D, and my last ones are +4. Gives me 3D squared minus 13D plus 4. Is it the same? No. If the hard part about just factoring it, they could give you one that doesn't factor. So you could spend a lot of time trying to factor something that doesn't factor in the end. So that's why the first method's a little bit shorter, because you say, okay, I want to check if D minus 4 is a factor. If it's a factor, I only have one option for my other factor. And then when I double check that, it either works or it doesn't work. Here, if I was factoring this, I would look, my first one's 3D squared. Only one option, 3D and D. My last one is a 4. I've got two options, 4 and 1. Well, actually, technically 3 options, because 4 and 1, 1 and 4 will be different with the outside and the inside. And 2 and 2. I need 13. Okay? Here's where your mental math, throw in 1 and 4, throw in 4 and 1, throw in 2 and 2. Do you see one that either adds or subtracts to give you 13? If I put the 4 there, I get 12, and the 1 here, my inside is 1. 12 and 1 makes 13. How, if positive 13, I'd have to have a positive 12 and a positive 1. We factored it, and D minus 4 didn't show up, so D minus 4 is not a factor. Circle question 7 and 8.